Hi, I'm Robin, English teacher with Core Languages, and today I'm standing in front of a beautiful mural. A mural is a painting that has been painted directly onto a wall or a house or building. There are many murals in Charleston, and there are murals in many other cities. Are there murals where you live? Pay close attention to how I started this question. I said, are there murals where you live? When we use there is or there are, we refer to things that we can see or that exist. For example, I could also ask you, do murals exist where you live? When we use there is or there are, we need to pay attention to the noun that follows it. For example, it would be incorrect to say, is there murals where you live? In today's video, I'm going to explain to you how to use there is and there are. So the next time someone asks you, are there murals where you live? You can formulate a perfect English sentence.
There is and there are. In order to use the phrase there is or there was, there are or there were, we need to remember the conjugation of the verb to be, both in the simple present and the simple past. Let's remember. I am, you are, he, she, it is. We are, you are, they are. The conjugation of to be in the simple past is I was, you were, he, she, it was. We were, you were, and they were. To form there is or there were, we will use the verbs marked in red. There is or there was, there are or there were. We use the phrase there is and there are to signify or acknowledge that something exists or that we can see it. When we refer to a singular noun, we use there is, and when we refer to a plural noun, we use there are. For example, there is a car parked outside. In this sentence, we are referring to a single car, so we use there is. There are many people here. People is a plural noun, so we need to use there are. There are several books on the shelf. Books is a plural noun, so we need to use there are. There is hot coffee on the table. We are referring to 1 cup of coffee, so we need to use there is. When we talk about something that existed in the past, we will use there was for singular nouns and there were for plural nouns. Look at the following examples and try to identify the noun that follows it. Is it a singular noun or is it a plural noun? For example, there were a lot of cars in the parking lot. This sentence refers to many cars, so we need to use there were. There was no parking space. This sentence talks about a single parking space, so we need to use there was. There were parking spaces for everyone. This sentence talks about many parking spaces, so we need to use there were. Were there enough parking spaces? This question asks about several or many parking spaces. So we need to use there were, but we will have the question word order, so we say were there. It can be confusing to understand what to use when we refer to multiple nouns or a series of singular nouns. An easy way to remember is that if the first noun in the series is singular, use there is. If the other nouns are singular or plural, doesn't matter. For example, there is a plate, a bowl, and an empty glass in the sink. The first noun in this series is a plate, which is a singular noun, so we use there is. The same goes for there was. There was coffee, creamer, and sugar on the table. In this sentence, the first series is coffee, which is an uncountable noun. So we use there was. We can also use the contracted form theirs. There's, or there is, a guitar, a drum set, and an electric bass in his home studio. The first noun in this series is a guitar, which is a singular noun, so we use there is or theirs. The phrase there is or there are is often used in combination with a lot of or lots of. For example, there is a lot of space in your apartment. I could also say there is lots of space in your apartment. Space is a singular noun, so I need to use there is. There are lots of people at the amusement park today. I could also say there are a lot of people at the amusement park today. People is a plural noun, so I need to use there are. There is not a lot of food left. Food is a singular noun or an uncountable noun, so I need to use there is. I could also contract this and say there isn't a lot of food left. When using there is or there are, there was or there were, with mixed subjects or a series of singular and plural nouns, we need to look at the first noun in the series. If it's a singular noun, we use there is, and if it is a plural noun, we use there are. It is important to note that in informal English, you will increasingly hear there is or theirs even with plural nouns. For example, there's a few things I still need to do, or there's lots of books for sale. This is technically grammatically incorrect, but it is often used in informal English. Let's look at these examples. There is a book and several magazines on the coffee table. A book is the first noun in the series, and it is singular, so I need to use there is. There's a car and two bikes in their garage. A car is the first noun, and it is singular, so I need to use there is or theirs. There are two glasses and a bottle of wine. The first noun is glasses. Two glasses is plural, so I need to use there are. Look at the following two pictures and sentences and try to choose there is or there are. There Several items on my shopping list. Items is a plural noun, so we need to use are. There are several items on my shopping list. The same sentence in the simple past would be, there were several items on my shopping list. How about this sentence? There, a band I want to see in concert. A band is a singular noun, so we need to use is. There is a band I want to see in concert. The same sentence in the past tense would be, there was a band I wanted to see in concert. How about this picture? There were lots of people at the beach, or there was lots of people at the beach. People is a plural noun, so we need to use were. There were lots of people at the beach. The same sentence in the simple present would be, there are lots of people at the beach. And how about this sentence? There are a lot of live music in Austin, or there is a lot of live music in Austin. Music or live music is a singular noun or an uncountable noun, so we need to use there is. There is a lot of live music in Austin.
Thank you for watching. I hope you now have a better understanding of how to use there is and there are. As always, if you have more questions, feel free to comment. Or if you're interested in joining one of our courses with a live instructor, feel free to message us directly. I look forward to seeing you in our next class.